Okie doke. It is Friday, April 11th, and let's take a look at some puzzles. Super hard, and wow, that's there. How can you make a dent in that? If we just try something, so we're in trouble there, so we can't put one there. Um, can't do that. I wonder if that's really going to help me with the corners, because that's still going to leave all the options actually to place that too. We can keep trying that. So that's not going to work. And same with that, it's not going to work. There could be a thing, so I think there's the Akari's, I don't know if it's technically a requirement, but um, they should be unique. So like placing one in all of these places amounts to the same thing. There's really no change between putting a lantern here versus here. So that probably means that you can't put one anywhere in the center. Um, so if we go up here, that's a double two. So you could do that, and you're in trouble with this bottom one. So yeah, I can't just, can't just fill in all the items, but I feel like you gotta check a lot of the two combinations, which is kind of annoying. There might be one where you end up putting it on the corner in one of these twos, and then that'll crack it open. But so far, I'm not seeing that happening. Oh, there we go, maybe. And then no, we're stuck up there. So that was this one. And we do the two up there is also broken. I think that was this one. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if it's just, I mean, I don't know if it's required. I feel like it has to be, that one's going to be out there. remember which one. So we did that one. Could do that. The double two there, you can't go. Yeah, I'm not sure which one this is. Um, guess you'd get there eventually, but more of a hassle than actually making progress. So, gonna move on. Buzzing in. Hmm. Buzzing in, like you could buzz in, like to get into an apartment. But buzzing in is also like sticking your sort of nose in something and getting in the way. Um, the J is interesting. What could the J be that you could do? You could jerry, like jerry rig, but um, buzzing in. There's a lot of ings here. Maybe that's the only one. Let's get something started. Lingo. Lingo. Is Lingo an app, maybe? Or it's also just the lingo of phrases? So phrase is interesting. Um, show and shop, and I guess scat, but swap. show, and shows, and shop, and shop, and shop. Hmm. Give me another one. Pyramid? Okay. Pyramid and lingo and jeer. Can still do phrase, maybe? Poor. Lingo and pyramid in terms of buzzing in. Like hotels? So lingo a hotel? I was thinking pyramid like the Luxor, but what's the J? I'm not seeing oh, Jeopardy. Those are all games? Game shows? Okay. So game I'm not sure a game show um called Lingo. Um Catchphrase and password. Okay. So Lingo as a game show. Game show. American television game show. Sort of like bingo or something. Alright. What was the other one? Pyramid. I hadn't heard of pyramid. Okie doke. Spelling bee. There's an ing there. Glowing. Um, gown. High low. I like the ing as possibility. Howling. Bam. Okay. Got one back. Connections. Those are long ones. Galaxy, citrus, city, sunshine, supplements, land, red carpet, Uber rating, cart, town, all out, leafy greens, American flag, world steadied between. Wow. Um, well, Galaxy, there's the Samsung Galaxy. There's like Galaxy in terms of a cluster of stars. I'm actually what the technical definition of a galaxy, but supplements could be supplements like you take as medication, or but also could just boost something with a supplement, or like complements kind of. Uber rating is based on stars, I think. So you could. Are there other things that are stars? Like, so that's a collection of stars. Galaxy has stars. Red carpet would have stars. And an American flag would have stars. That feels kind of purpley, but also easy. Okay, that's a blue. Um, Citrus is like bright, so is sunshine. Bright flavor, I guess. That's a little steady as she goes. All out. City. So it's like part of video games like Mario Kart, Sim City, and then, ooh, well, Mario Sunshine was a game. Super Mario World was a game. Mario Land? Not at all. Mario Kart and Mario Sunshine. Mario City, Mario Supplements. Leafy greens, supplements, citrus, sunshine are all like good things, I guess, or source of vitamins. All right. Uh, Kart. What was it? Mario Kart. Did I take one of those? I didn't. So it was still. Oh, I took Sunshine. Mario Sunshine was a game. Um, Town, land, world, city, retail suffixes. Okay. And cart all out, steady, between. Go all out, go between, go kart, go steady. Okay. Yeesh. And let's see. Bad things to see tumbling down a mountain on their own. Tumbling down a mountain. I guess rocks or something, but it's plural somehow. When repeated, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, maybe. Distort as Gata. Skew. Provide funding for. Endow. Quartet of awards won by Whoopi Goldberg. An EGOT. Swing, maybe? Successfully pulled off as a deal. Swung? Swing? It could be swing. French word for a maiden name. Nay. When repeated, if you know what I mean. Oh, wink. So wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more, say no more. Or that thing from Monty Python there. Gold brick, ingot. Bad things to see. What is that? A kiddo. And skis. Oh, on their own. That would be bad. Wink, wink. What? Nudge, nudge. Say no more. All right. If the shoe fits. Is that if the shoe fits, wear it? Mai Tais often include two types of them. Rums? Maybe? Vessel for navigating whitewater. A raft. Four corners state that itself has six corners. Utah has six corners. Okay. Clicky accessories. Accessories. Like a click, 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 click. Working with gusto. Add it. Maybe. A rare stamp may sell for much more than it. Face value. Nice. Old-fashioned term for an airline cabin crew member. Steward? Clicky is a mice. Okay. Movie in which slippers play a key role. Long, long time. It's Eon with an A, maybe? Really? Wow. Stun or something. Caramel colored sodas. Colas. That feels alright. Something Renaissance. First album in Beyonce's trilogy project. Not sure about that one. Offering to a first-time house guest. A mint? No. First-time house guest. Some sort of gift. Checked at the door. ID'd. Emotional state. A mood. Ooh, I don't know. Really wow. Amaze. Offering for a first-time house guest. The Wizard. Oh, that's a tour. What could be? Okay. Yes. Yes. Act 1. Okay. Yep. And then the wizard something. The wizard king? I'm not sure. Ages. Okay. One of 44 that make up the house on Mango Street. What would be 44 of something? Rebuff. Go up to this top section. Flash. Mob. More casual alternative to a suit jacket. Suit jacket. Blazer. Exception to the status quo. Offline and online. IRL. Real life. Back an orange bird. Oriole. River that flows through 10 countries. The Nile. The undisputed greatest writer of all time, poet, Bo, something. The Wizard of Oz. Okay. Yes, got it. Slippers play a key role. Highway entry points, on ramps. Woohoo. Exception. A misfit? Okay. Bosia and Cowboy Carter or Beyonce. Misfit. Just gonna put that in. 100% all. Elegance. Charm, maybe? State of absolute chaos. Total mess. Penultimate word before many races. Set. Irritated mood. Snit. Compete like Lindsey Vonn. Ski. Hawaiian word that means slice. Poke? Does that mean slice? An eon? Okay. Could be charm. Movie in which slippers play a key role. Cinderella. Class. All right. Yeah. James, who said, a lot of people think the blues is depressing, but that's not the blues I'm singing. Ooh. Etta James. Good use of Etta James instead of just at last. Noise made by tigers and red deer. A roar. Red deer roar, maybe. Bits of stick and poke art. Stick art. Musicians aesthetically define phrases. Their eras. Vignette. Tats. Ah, okay. Poke art. Okay. Rebuff. Scorn. Not sure what. Professional looking for talent. Professional looking for talent. A scout. Body part that might be used to test the water's temperature. Toe. Something forte. Italian name of the instrument. I call a piano. Like a strong piano. Bit in a horse's feedback. Oat. Uni. And spurn. Yes, untie. Cool. There was something up here that was kind of interesting. Oh, the Etta James was nice. Roar. Red deer roar. Red deer roar. Roar hunting red stag. Oh wow. Yeah, look at him yelling. It's a neat scene. Yep. Une and poke. And include the poke. Yep. Act 1, Yen Carter. It's just a fun, probably fortuitous pair whose connection can be highlighted with their clues. Nice. Yeah, it's good debut. That's fun. Cinderella and Wizard of Oz. Okay. Some pops. Icicles or pops. Could be like diet sodas. Makings of some homemade pipes. What would be pipes? Fitting name for a girl born in October. Iris? Is Iris or something? What else could be I don't know. Michael, who played Alan in Barbie. That's Sarah. So there goes that. Richard Nixon or Mao Zedong in a 1987 premiere. Don't know. Moved in bounds. Leapt. Finish what you're doing. Futzing. Tinkering. Dealing with. Or on the pushing boundaries. Not straight. Bent. Could be queer. Not straight though. Askew. Like Iceland's weather most of the year. Sunny, rainy. Pushing boundary. That could be edgy, and then that would be sunny or rainy on the not straight. Bending or something, moved in bounds. Line accompanying a doorbell ring. It's me. On the mend. Moved in bounds. Could be in bounds in terms of like a game that you're in bounds of the player area, but also moved in bounds like you leap or you lunge or you arcing or finish what you're doing. Futzing. Tinkering like that or fabulizes. Could be like style. Windy. Or no, that wasn't it actually. Could be like style. That's not moldy, that's weird. Moved in bounds. Vying, prying. Could be windy, I'm not sure. Futzing with. Trying. Finish what you're doing. Long-term email provider. Is that AOL or MSN? Don't know. They're high pressure at their low points. Hasbro action figures. Japanese, thank you. Arigato? PGA Tour event. The Open? Uh-huh. Yup. Or yep. Some attire worn with tights. Tutus. Sort by option in a credit card history. Sort by date or rate. Pilot returning to the air. Example. Pilot like capital pilot. What pilot would be back in the air? Rerun or something? Don't know. Fabulizes. Passionate tributes. Could be but odes, but elegies. But that I don't know if that's IES. At the absolute back of the pack, dead last. Dose of unreality. A dose. Could be a mod or like dose med. Alt pop. An LSD maybe? Unreality. Like some real estate deals. Something let slip, but no. Neptune. Something planet. Something planet. You're up to something? Word with mint or miss. Spearmint. Old miss or miss. Fire. Fire mint. Fit mint fire. Site with shops from around the world. Etsy has shops around the world, or not sure what the site would be. Dropped as a touchy. Neptune. Simple question written with 2 question marks. ¿Cómo estás? Certain ephemeral social media posts. A certain ephemeral social media post. Could be Snapchat, but like a snap or snap story. And that could be Etsy. You're onto something, not into something, and then but that's probably planet. Near or near mint, near miss. Yeah. Dropped as a touchy subject. Oh, left alone. Resales. When rerun, pilot returning to the air. Yar fabulizes. FEMA. Means of intel gathering. Recon. Ice planet. Okay. It feels okay. One's lost in lust. Toying with? Not straight. You're not straight with someone, you could be lying? Finish what you're doing. Moved and bounced. Zone, maybe? No, that's the start of the Z. Fabulized. Fabulizes. This could be windy. I'll wait. Loped. What is loped? Steady gait, leap. Yep, okay. Fabulizes. Spins a yarn. Okay. And there's pay-ins, is that right? Pay-in. Yep. Okay, that feels pretty good. Could say it's me spins a yarn toying. It's windy. Ed G lying. I'll wait. Mend. Arigato. Open. Tutus. Pay-ins. Dead last. Sales. Yeah. Snap. Story. Etsy. Como estas? Near the ice planet onto LSD. Left alone. And recon. Screen mover. Saver or cursor. Cursor tends to usually, or characters' trajectories, their arcs, what ice skaters might turn into. They do axles. I'm not sure if it's axles like that or axle. I think it axles. Boggy land. Creature with over 200 tiny eyes along its shell. That's crazy. Something aholics. Lust. Popeye's fare. Spinach. Lost in lust. Could be O there. Oholics. Liquid plumber alternative. Could be Drano. Lost in lust. If you lust for something, you really want it. Taxaholic? I'm not sure what the X or the X. And that could be something. It's one step down from an F. It's the jump something flat. If you go down from an F, it's a D flat, right? Yeah. No. Whoa. E flat. Fen, Spoggy Land, and Scallop. What is fen? An area of low wetland. Okay. Drano. That could be scallop. I think this is E flat, is that right? If you're on F, yeah, you go down one, then E. Yeah. So that could be scallop. Sea scallop? They're high pressure at their low points. This could be eras. Oceans. Okay. Something to know. Bush nominee for the Supreme Court. Alito, maybe? Richard Nixon or Mao Zedong in a 1987 premiere. Something roll? Some pops, like pops. Thinking like pops, like lollipops. Or ice pops, or ones in a war of words. This could be like ists there. Well, crossing your hands in front of your chest mean in American Sign Language? I'm not sure. Be a good one to know. Could be stop or that, I don't know. Oh, sexaholics. That ends in an S there. Okay. Lost in lust. There we go. Action figures from Hasbro. Party. Oh, Errol. Is this Errol Morris? I think it's Errol Morris. Wayne's. Ebbs. Vulgarian. Like vulgar or messy bun or bob. How Romeo dies in the eyes of the audience. How Romeo dies in the eyes of the audience. Like, it's not off stage like it is with some of the deaths in Macbeth. Um, Nurses, like the night right before dawn, proverbially, the darkest before the dawn. Okay. Sign of romantic chemistry, a spark. Sign of vitality. Ooh, minor disagreement, a spat. Vitality. French city, whose last three letters are a French article. Le, so it's probably Arles. Private affair, a tryst. Please keep scratching me. Purr. Pulse, okay. Ironically? Oh, because then Juliet uh, rises from her her slumber from the fake poison. Okay. Party. Go on a full ride. I like the cat purring there. What would a party be? Like you are partying? Party is a verb. Or, but also just it is a party. A party for a. Is there some sort of like a gemstone for October? Could be opal or ruby. Um, but I was thinking, I thought it was iris previously. Some pops. Um, Richard Nixon or Mao Zedong. Activity with pints and points. Pints and points feel like that could be beer related. But maybe it doesn't end in IA. One into modeling at school. Could be modeling like an artist. Could be modeling like CAD design, or I'm going to check Errol Morris. That's right? Yeah, Errol Morris. And I like bun there, messy bun. Party. Oh, a group? Vulgarian. A boor? Or G.I. Joes. One into modeling at school. With a J. was AOL or MSN. I'm not sure what else it would be. Maryland State Bird. Go on a full ride. So full ride could be like a scholarship. Full ride could be like you riding a ride at an amusement park. Well, crossing your hands could look at that. Let's see. ASL crossing hands. Oh, like this. I was thinking like this, but like two hands. That sort of feeling. Not sure what it means. Do 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 do. Love. We could go with love. And something cold or colas, some pops. Something colas. Diet colas? And then Michael. I thought it was Michael Cera who played Alan. Pepsi colas. Something roll. So that could be Oriole, which was clued as the colors of the bird in the previous one. This could be trivia. Bar trivia. That looks great. Go on a full ride. Carpool. Soul, maybe long time. AOL, okay. Art major. There's the R, yeah, and a boar, yeah. Something. Something roll. Coca-Colas. Oh, wow. Makings of some homemade pipes. Oh, cobs, like corn cob pipes. War of words. Ska poets? Slam, oh, so not seeing the M. Slam poets, and then that's opal. Oh, opera roll. Oh, wow. Didn't know there was an opera with Richard Nixon and Mao Zedong. So 1987 opera, Richard Nixon. Nixon in China. Got it, got it. Alright, needed a little lookups to just confirm some things, but it was alright. Coca-Colas. It was sodas, but a specific kind of soda. And we had cola. Was that over here? There's also a cola, I thought. Or a soda or a drink, maybe. Did that happen twice? We had a few things that matched. Yeah, colas. So colas here was caramel colored sodas. And this was specific Coca-Colas. There's some pops are Coca-Colas. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, does that not show up? Oh, interesting. Not seeing the wordplay. Huh, maybe something's off with the display there. But so that's pretty doable. A little bit of lookup, but can feel myself getting better, but need like one or two confirmations of just definitely relying on the pen to try to confirm stuff, but I like that. That was good. Mini crossword, wink wink, nudge nudge, yeah. Connections, yeah. It varies whether connections is like super enjoyable for me. Had one or two where like, oh, that's a really clever thing, but usually it just feels like losing. Same with spelling bee of, happen to find it or not. I I really like strands though. I mean, this one was tough for me. Like it varies, but I really like the idea of strands. I think there's a lot of play in that. So, just from a game perspective, I think there's a lot of things that you can milk out of this. Like I love it when, they make the spangram be organized to be an interesting shape. There's like a lot of play there. Um, it's an interesting requirement that this has to be two words or could be two words, but couldn't be more. There's probably a limitation just with the size, but it's also interesting to try to make these. I've tried to make some of these, um, and it's very impressive when these feel really authored. And I think that's one of the keys with a lot of these New York Times games is they definitely feel authored. Connections, I think it can feel authored sometimes, but it doesn't feel as the connections don't actually feel as connected between the four things. It's more of there's so many small little connections. What can you find in the four? But it's not like the connections are across these four values usually. Um, that feels rare. Of like you could have something that's all yellow with the color, but I think it's just harder things to see. So it's an interesting idea because you can compact the idea of simple and hard into one puzzle, whereas um, these other clued sort of games like crosswords tend to have the convention that like everything is hard versus everything easy. Like one or two things that you can like let yourself in. But if you're doing a Friday or a Saturday, like all the clues are sort of challenging or different. Whereas this, your inroad is you have one simple thing, and then by definition, you have things that are hard and easy. So that's an interesting combination. I feel like I would probably been doing this for a little bit in terms of like switching it up. Um, I feel like a Kari in terms of like novel authorship, uh, that could be interesting to see of how you could make an Akari feel like a good solving experience. Like to me, this one is just hard because you have to go back and forth so much. Um, you could get lucky and just guess one of these, but this feels very much just trial and error. Like I don't think there could be some like awesome things you could do between neighbors that I'm not familiar with. Like these twos are close together, and because of this one, you can kind of see a small thing there. Um, I kind of just in terms of the span of difficulty of these become more frustrating to me when they get hard. Whereas the crosswords, they're frustrating when you're solving them, but they're actually like quite impressive when you finish them or like realize how something was clued. Whereas in this way, this seems just sort of hard for the sake of being hard. So I feel like going forward, I would probably consider doing something other than the daily Akari and maybe also dropping connections and spelling bee. Um, because like this is either for me either a sort of immediate understanding of like okay we'll just try it like get it in seconds versus going forever. I feel like the pairing of the spelling bee like into a crossword with the spelling bee buddy is really good of like having people clue ideas for this. um, I would love to see that. I wonder actually if they do that. You can sort of make it your own. So like you can look at yesterday's or like look at the archive of these. I think you can go back like past puzzles. You can't go back all the time, but you can go back a little bit. Like if past puzzles included clues, or if there was a more integrated space with spelling bee that that also part of the puzzle was cluing things. Um, I think that would be more engaging just for my own brain. But like just offhand, just like trying to find a bunch of words that feels like a good game to come back to of like throughout the day, like take some time and think about it. But in terms of just sitting down, like, oh, I'm going to complete the spelling bee, I probably wouldn't do that in one sitting. So usually that's the thing I do is I just look for the pangram of like the one thing, which isn't always there. You have to check whether spelling bee actually includes a pangram, but usually they do. So, and the the crosswords continue to be fun, but I do like the differing voices of Puzzmo having a different grids as well as the um, a lot more voice from the constructor compared to something like a crossword from the Times. I think what I would probably do is maybe going forward in terms of like a next batch of crosswords or things that I would want to go through is I'd probably drop. This feels kind of wrong to drop all these good puzzles, but I would probably drop Akari and Spelling Bee and Connections and keep Strands, the Mini, the Puzzmo, and I like the Times crossword is still good. I would probably add the New Yorker crossword. Some of the ones, so I get that as I get that the print magazine, and I would do a lot of those online. So I think I would probably add that. Let's take a look at how that's organized. If we go to puzzles and games, I did some recently. They have like the double minis, so you could do whatever's most recent. That actually could be a way to do it. So, do they have something every day? They don't have something every day, but you could do either like something that happens most recently. So Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. Okay, so they're doing weekdays. So, and I think they might do some themes. on some days. Yeah, and then they have one of these is an easy mini and one of these is a hard mini. So let's see, do a real quick test here of the two minis. And I think I might have done this one. No, I didn't. Um, but yeah, there's some great stuff with Brooke right here is actually like doing some challenging ones from time to time, and Anna Scheckman and Eric as well. Yeah, and Caitlin Reed I've seen before. Yeah, he's just like great roster of people. So I feel like I would probably add that in terms of replacing some of the New York Times games that I find a little too the Akari and that are like a little too frustrating and a little too unauthored, arguably, like less of a voice. Like a voice of connections is rare. So like doing the April Fools of connections, I guess that's just like a novel way of doing things, but yeah, connections feels less authored to me. Same with spelling bee often. Like it's tough to have an authored spelling bee. It's more of just what is it today? Whereas Strands Fields has tendencies to feel very authored, and so do all the crosswords. So let's take a look at these. So this was the 11 is like a mini, really mini, and I think that's the simpler one. And this is like a MIDI kind of thing, more like in between the Puzzmo and like a New York Times mini. Let's just take a look at these real quick. Of a region could be an area. Step aside, coming through. That's good. Breadth. Or reached a stopping point. Ended. Stuff in an hourglass. Sand. Yeah, see, that's great. Many subway posters or ads. Yeah. The best something. Jonathan Rosen memoir that takes its title from Howl. The best minds of our generation. So I don't know that, but, breadth, range. Yeah, nice. Outer boundary, edge. Approximately 95% of justices in Supreme Court history, men. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, that's great. So I guess that marked as 2 minutes. That didn't feel like 2 minutes, though. Would have to time it. Um, nice. Be unable to do without, need. Yeah, it feels like so 95% of justices in Supreme Court history, that is definitely a clue. Probably wouldn't usually see on a Times crossword, but you know would definitely do that in Puzzmo. And this feels like kind of a less, maybe it's not the right way to say it, but like a less edgy version of Puzzmo. Of like these still are far more culture. There often seems to be more interaction with the current culture in New Yorker crosswords, and definitely with Puzzmo crosswords, than compared to Times crosswords in general. Like, seems more like Times crosswords are sort of agnostic wordplay, but that varies. I know there's others like great work with the Post. Could check that out as well, but I am subscribed to the New Yorker, so definitely accessible there. Let's try the other mini. I think that's Issa Rae. Comedy that subverts expectations about punchlines. Very long. Mouth puckering. Sour. Urban air pollution. Smog. We gotta get going. Come on. Ice. Glacial. Icy. Why would I know? Why would I know? Surface for, oh, it's getting clipped there, but surface for cooking pancakes. A griddle. That's a great word. Pinnacle. Acme. Converse over coffee. Chat, maybe? Article that doesn't appear in any of this puzzle's clues. The? That's cool. So that is one thing that I think the recent talk I'd have to look up from the PuzmoCon of the crossword con that I think it was the one of the puzzle editors from the Post had a lot of things that were kind of like MIT sort of puzzle hunts in a crossword where you would solve something and there would be some sort of Easter egg within it of you would end up with a final word of he had a I think it was a student transfer thing that was really elaborate, very cool. Like he was talking about like reimagining what a Sunday crossword could be. Um, so, but this is kind of getting at that of doesn't appear in any of this crosswords. So this is kind of this not really a theme, but this larger sort of word gem that you could find. So that's very cool. That's fun to see. Body of a ship. I think it's a heel. Hey, that hurts. Ouch. Or hull. Ouch. Leftovers sometimes eaten for breakfast. Cold pizza? Cold something. You tell me. Revise. Edit. Anti-comedy. Pelvic joint. The hip. Anti-ha-ha. Sorry. Quebecois dish topped with cheese curds and gravy. Oh, poutine. That's a good one. Cold. It is cold pizza, maybe. Here is Hudson. Zeus. Their eyes were watching God. Zora near Hairston. Euro. Neon. Anon. San. Ooh. Anon. Yeah, San Salvador. Ooh. Anti. Punchlines. Anti. Seep slowly. Ooze. Some great Z's here. Rice like pasta. Ors. No. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Ooze. There it is. Orzo. Skin opening. A pore. Bach or bitter, for example. Bach. Bitter. Steal from. Rob. Beer. Beat. Word after dining or elbow. Elbow room. Elbow room. Anti-humor. Alrighty. And beer is in terms of Bach or bitter. Cool. So I feel like I'd probably switch that up to have maybe throwing in more crosswords, more words, and clues, clue-based puzzles. So that would be taking out connections, spelling bee, and kari. So I might try that going forward. And either like on the weekends then wouldn't have a New Yorker puzzle. And yeah, that could be a fun pairing because these go backwards compared to the times difficulty. So uh, the Monday is the hardest into Fridays and the end of the day. So it looks like I think they used to do maybe one every day, but now it's split across looks to be split across minis. So it's hard, medium, easy, mini mini. Hard, medium, easy, mini mini. It feels to be the like the current progression. Yeah. So I feel like I could do that on weekdays, have some extra things, and then going forward, so like tomorrow would probably just do strands, the times mini, Puzzmo, and the times crossword. And then when they have a New Yorker, give that a go. Cool. We'll give that a try. All right, that's a lot of ranting of sort of game design and that kind of stuff, but the Akari kind of unapproachable today. but I think you're going to put pause on the Akari for a little bit. And spelling bee, yeah, is a fun buddy to have throughout the day, but in terms of sitting down and solving the spelling bee, in terms of collection of puzzles like I'm doing here, I probably wouldn't do that. And connections, I think that's a personal preference of preferring the more clued kind of puzzle, but it is a fun, quick puzzle to be able to find like what's the easy or hard thing. Um, yeah, and I'm really enamored with strands. I like that as a puzzle. Um, yeah, alrighty. Well, that's enough rambling from me. And failed the Akari. Uh, got the spelling bee. Did this with a guess. Um, Guessed a bunch on this one. Didn't know my game shows. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Some sort of thing in a Monty Python sketch for that. And the shoe did fit. And not sure of like the overall thing with wordplay here, but there's some good stuff in here. Yeah, and I think I'm going to add these because there's some great work coming out of the New Yorker as well. It was fun to do check out some of the recent posted talks from PuzmoCon. Would recommend checking those out because yeah, there are great people doing great work. Looking forward to checking out. Is it Nathan's? I would have to remember how to pronounce his name. Nathan Lasts. It's in the New Yorker as well as other places. An upcoming book about crossword and crossword culture, and I know Anna Scheckman had some pieces about that. And Puzzmo's doing a lot of work there. Yeah, cool stuff in the crossword world. All right. That's a Friday, as well as a lot of sort of thinking about puzzles to take on going forward. And we will end it there. Hope you have a good day and happy puzzling.